Greetings collectors and welcome to today's retro game review. I thought I'd revisit a classic Sega title today, and they don't come much more classic than Super Hang-On for the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis. Starting its life in the arcade back in 1987, Super Hang-On became a staple of 1980s gaming. This was a golden age for Sega, with various hits such as Outrun, Golden Axe, Space Harrier, Altered Beast, and all the rest. As with these other Sega titles, Super Hang-On received its very own 16-bit Sega Mega Drive and Genesis release in 1989. Finally, we could all play to our heart's content without having to stump up that 20 pence to play. Today's episode may be a little shorter than usual, and that's because the topic of Super Hang-On has been so well told so many times over the years. The premise is incredibly straightforward. Get on your motorbike and blast it across the region of your choice in an attempt to win the race. You will have some options as to the difficulty of your race. Africa is beginner level with 6 stages, Asia junior with 10 stages, the Americas senior with 14 stages, or Europe with an expert 18 stages. Fundamentally, the game is the same for each, it's just the complexity of the courses that change. You'll also have the option of selecting from 4 different soundtracks. The control system is very basic, as you might expect from an arcade conversion. Buttons for brake, accelerate, and a final button for boost. Once at the top speed, hold down the C button for that extra bonus speed and really watch the pixels fly. The courses are split into several stages that follow on from one another, no loading times in between, just a satisfying blend into the next stage after the checkpoint. It's these checkpoints that play a key role in the game. There's no enemies as such in the game, as the other riders will not actively disrupt you. The timer is the real enemy. As it counts down, you must reach the next checkpoint to be awarded more time in order to get to the next checkpoint. It makes for a very tense atmosphere if you know that you've taken a time-sapping hit on any of the stages. This makes the turbo even more important. To claw back time, you will need to hit it hard on the straights, or even on the corners if you dare. Once you're in the groove, it's incredibly satisfying. You'll need lightning fast reactions, but with some practice you will get there. It's simple, which means that this is a game that's instantly accessible to the masses. In terms of a conversion, I believe that Sega really did handle this one with love and care. It does have slightly shortened tracks, but the feel of the original game is still very strongly felt in here, so overall this was a job very well done. You'll instantly notice that the sprites are really chunky and arcade-like, and the scrolling effect is spot on. Overall, what's here all builds to a very solid experience. For those wanting a new lease of life with the existing formula, it's worth exploring what's known as the original mode. Here you will have to race rivals to earn cash and pay to upgrade your bike. It's a welcome extension to the key game formula. So, how about the physical version of this classic? Well, you'll be pleased to know that this title was mass-produced. Sega knew it would sell well, and even bundled it in with the Mega Drive in certain stores. The standalone edition of the game comes in a standard black Sega case, with the matching manual and cartridge. Nothing too much to write home about, save for the fact that it's perhaps one of the most instantly recognisable games of the era. With Super Hang-On being very much a part of Sega's emphasis that they were the ones bringing the arcade into the home, it's no wonder that Super Hang-On also made its way into various other physical forms. For the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis, it features in the Mega Games 1 compilation, alongside Columns and World Cup Italia 90, some more classics for another day I feel. Just a quick note on this one, you actually get all 3 manuals bundled into the case, making this a very sturdy package. I'm guessing that this was Sega's way of offloading some surplus stock. Nevertheless, it's a nice little package. Over the years, Super Hang-On has been bundled with numerous Sega compilation titles, far too many to cover in just one episode today. For the original standalone version, look to pay peanuts for this one, mint in box. It's incredibly common. For the Mega Games 1 compilation, you're also looking at bargain basement prices. It was cheap then, and it's cheap now. So if you are looking to get into Sega's 16-bit console, this is an excellent place to start. Some years ago, I bought out a mid-sized retro game store, and I literally get dozens of these compilation games regularly through my trading stock. As for Super Hang-On itself, For me, this is no-brainer for any classic Sega fan. It's fast, it's fun, and harks back to an age when we were content with simple but well-made games. It's easily accessible to all, but will really test the most ardent of racing fans if you're prepared to play the expert modes. Overall, Super Hang-On is a very solid racing game that's always worth coming back to for the fans and those looking to see a classic best-in-class arcade conversion. So, is Hang-On still a classic game today? Well yes, it's super. Hello again, I hope you enjoyed today's show and thank you for the view. Remember, you can always comment, like, subscribe and find us on the social media sites below. Happy collecting!